if we could start with your name and where you're from.
My name is Jesse Bruce. I'm from Toronto, Canada.
All right. And how have you been doing with the pandemic and everything?
Uh, I've been doing I guess as good as you can be, really. Yeah, like the business, we're surviving from a business standpoint. And then personally, like I'm okay. I'm actually surprising. You might not believe it or not, I'm actually kind of a loner anyway. So I'm not like hugely dying for, social contact or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah. And your gym One Academy is one of the big things I wanted to talk about. Now, I think it was March 16th or something last year that you said you closed its doors for the first time ever. Not even holidays, nothing else. What
We've
was that
never
like?
we've had a class every single day since we opened, including Christmas.
Yeah. So what was it like for you to have to like make that choice to, well, not even a
It
choice.
was it was intense. Like that weekend was crazy. We were watching just the cases and obviously what was happening around the world, and we were in constant dialogue with each other and what should we do. Like we had originally limited the number of people in the class from 48 to 40 the previous week, just to give us time to clean and whatnot. And then it was the weekend. I remember I was up north because I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to be at the gym every day, all day from now on, because we're going to have classes every hour to make up for, half the people in the class or whatever, because that's what I was thinking. So I'm like, I'm going up north for a couple of days because it's going to be a long haul. But then, as the day went on that Sunday, we were like, went from we got a 20-person classes, a 10-person classes, and then everybody, all other gyms and places were closing. And yeah, we made the decision to close. And then which was tough, but immediately it was like, okay, we need to act, we need to do something. People are scared. People are what we need to keep this community together. We need to keep hope right now. We need to keep people motivated. And in one day we turned around our virtual experience. I'm lucky my partners that co-founded this gym with me are run a marketing agency. So we have access to some nice equipment that normally I would not know how to work. Well, that helped a lot. We turned around, we ran classes literally the next day.
Good. Yeah. And it's been a roller coaster. We were just talking a little bit before we started recording about how it looked like we were kind of getting out of it, and then Canada completely shut down again. So what has it been like? What's the state that you guys are in now with the pandemic?
So right now we're in probably kind of the biggest lockdown I would say we've been in right now, because we can't, I guess, since from the start, because it's full lockdown, and you can't even have outdoor classes, which is insane to me.
Yes, I agree.
Um, but yeah, that's where we're at. So we're running our virtual game right now.
And how? So it's good that you were able to make such a quick pivot to virtual. Are you guys like looking good? Like, are people still supporting you so much? Because you touched on it a bit there, but you guys aren't just a gym; you're a super tight knit community. Um,
Yeah, we have our community is what's helped us get through this big time. Like right off the bat, so many people whose jobs weren't affected, said, told us to keep our membership going.
good.
um and yeah, and to our credit, like we invested in equipment. We turned a whole back room into a virtual room. Like we made it really good and really sick, so that we run a very good virtual offering, so people love it. Actually, we have people from all over the world that come and take our virtual. I have people from the UK, people from Africa, all over the US, Canada wide. So it's pretty cool to see that come into play. But yeah, it's been crazy because the rules changing all the time. And
Yeah.
we were open for a while, then it was like 24-person classes, 20 person classes, 10-person classes. Then the most ridiculous one I thought was 10-person classes, but you weren't allowed to have a coach in the gym. And I'm just like, so we're like just like every couple of days I'm changing the programming and whatnot. Then we have outdoor stuff and numbers. And then I'm trying to get us, we have a large community. So I was trying to get be crafty with the 10-person cap. And I would have so 3 sections of these classes on 3
Yeah.
different parts of the field, and people would go from A, B, and C, and it was pretty good. So it's been a constant whirlwind of constant changing the programming. It's frustrating, but at the same time, you do what you got to do. You try to hold your head up, you smile, and then you control what you can control. Um, and yeah, I think we've been getting by.
Yeah, I'm not big into going to gyms. I'm very much a loner too, but watching like videos back in the day of like seeing all the people there, and it just seems like one of the coolest gyms to go to. I think you call
Oh
them
yeah.
the One Army, is it?
Yeah, with one army. Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
I posted a video the other day because we used to have, my Saturday morning class was 72 people, and I would cap it at. And then even every Monday, holiday Monday, we have a class called Collision with all our classes colliding for 90 minutes of epicness. And um 72, and I even had 84-person class. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, how did we even do it? So
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's tough too, as like a business owner, you're making all these changes which cost money too.
Yeah.
And like it's tough, like you're not getting the reward, and it's got to be
Yeah.
very, very frustrating.
Yeah, it's frustrating bringing back staff. Yeah, it's buying stuff we need. Like this last one, you were able to. They had outdoor classes for about 3 days, so it's gotta. You feel bad for. We already have all this stuff because we've been doing the outdoor thing last year, but you feel bad for some companies who probably went out and bought a bunch of stuff and
Yeah.
like employees and run it for 3 days and boom, you're locked back down.
And I think the craziest thing to me is that like just no outdoor classes, and it's
Yeah, it doesn't like I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, is there not any like fitness people in the government or what? Like,
yeah,
why isn't that getting pumped up? Like it's proven to boost people's immune systems and help combat this and for mental health and everything. And even putting people so preventing people from outdoor gatherings. The people are going to gather if they want to gather, so now all they're doing is hiding inside where it's more transmissible. And it's like, man, it's just like sometimes it's frustrating, like it doesn't make sense to me sometimes, but
yeah. I completely agree with the leadership. There's no pointing to like safely, because you can work out safely, and I think outside is perfectly safe, and just stay
yeah,
healthy, because people sitting at home, sitting on the couch, getting bigger. I know I put on some pounds, and like that's no way to fight off a virus.
yeah.
Yeah. But switching to the mental health aspect, so my girlfriend and I watched your mini documentary, New Addiction. What is it like to have that awesome like thing made about yourself?
It was yeah, pretty cool. It's cool to that my story and my past is doing some good, and people are gonna get something out of it. And it's cool that someone wanted to make a little movie about it. So yeah, and they did a really good job in that. So um yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I thought it was excellent. How did that originate? Did someone approach you, or?
Yeah, they reached out to me. They said they found my story and they want to make a documentary out of it. So I was like, sure. Like for me, I'm always looking to give back, and if someone's gonna get something from my story, then of course 100% I'm gonna do it, even though there's people that have known me for 10, 15 years who are probably tired of hearing about it over and over again. But you got to do it because if someone's gonna get something out of it. As much as I'm not one for like another thing that's hard to believe, maybe I'm not one for the spotlight or things being about me. So it's difficult, and I even have a hard time I actually didn't even really watch it myself until we showed it at the gym, and I was like, oh man, so it's tough to watch. But again, like if one person gets something out of it, then it's worth it.
I couldn't agree more. And I watched it, and I knew a little bit of your story before, but I wasn't sure about the extent until I watched it. And I was really happy to see not only how well it was done, but it was like respectfully done. And I thought it was like very like true to you as like an athlete. And
Yeah, you.
as someone that's been where you are to being where you are now, what's some advice that you would give to someone that's, in your old shoes?
In my old shoes, um, honestly, I guess if it's someone in my old shoes and they're suffering and they're struggling, and I think not to sound like the same old story, but like there's there is hope. Like, I remember just the darkest points of my life, and I thought I was stuck that way. Like, I thought I was permanently damaged. I thought there was no way that I was gonna get better. I thought there was no way that I was gonna be able to have a successful career. I thought there was no way that I was gonna be able to be happy. I was so depressed, clinically depressed from you know, doing so much, bad drugs. And I thought I had permanently damaged myself to the point I would never get out of it. And, and my life wasn't worth living. And the pain was just too much that I just didn't want to live anymore. But, time does heal wounds. And I think for me, just like surviving one day at a time and just taking little steps to make you feel better. And for me was you know small things at first, from cleaning my apartment to going grocery shopping to staying clean for a day or a weekend or whatever, and then going back to school. And as much as I still struggled, I kind of slowly worked through it. And I think to find your passion, to find your dream.
Yeah.
You know, I did have a dream. I wanted to get into fitness. Fitness and strength training had changed my life from being a skinny kid with no self-esteem before I even got into dope, to then putting on some muscle, putting on some strength, finally having something to feel good about. I was always very insecure about my size, being so skinny and whatnot, and small and short. And um, so working out, it had changed my life, and it helped me. And so I knew I wanted to be a personal trainer. So having that dream, that even though it took me a long time to finally go and get, and even while I was getting it, believe me, I was still, I was going to college and I was still a mess. I don't even remember being in some classes. I still managed to get arrested a few times. I spent my entire third semester, serving weekends in the local jail. And but I made it through, and I made it through with honors and got on the university. So yeah, like, don't give up hope. You will get better. Find that passion, and just keep dreaming it and living towards it each day.
Yeah, it sounds like, so dreams are just goal setting, right? Like setting those
Yeah,
goals no matter how
have
small, right?
something.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have something, like, what do you got? Like, so it's hard for people to find. I think you need to find that thing that makes you feel good, or that you are good at, or that you have a special way of doing that no one else does. Maybe it's even just, for me, a lot of it was I wanted to get better so I can help someone who was struggling with the same thing as I did, right? Because
Yeah.
I knew how much it hurt and how tough life can be. And like that's what fueled me a lot of the time, was like, man, if I can do this, I can help someone struggling just like. And that's all you need too, right? So
Yeah, absolutely. I think that in your life, there's no emotion, no feeling that is uniquely your own. Someone else has been there. And to
yeah.
be that someone else and to kind of say, like, reach out a hand and be like, there's a way out of this. I think that's very commendable there. And how important it is, like, family and like having a good community, like a support system
Yeah,
too.
it's huge. And that's one thing I am blessed and I am grateful for. And that my heart breaks for the people that are out there who don't have a family. Or I do have I did have two parents who, really cared about me, and two brothers. And I have addiction that runs in my family. So they understood. And as much as, I did make it difficult on them, and there was a lot of whatnot. Like I knew, I did have a family that cared about my well-being, and so that is what helped me get through it. And again, there's people out there without one that breaks my heart. And that's another reason why, you know, I'm creating this community is important to me, because I want to be that community for someone who doesn't have one. We do have our one strength, so we have a kind of a community outreach for at-risk youth and homeless
Right.
youth that we welcome and bring into our and have become a part of our community. But the community is big too. Like, having that, and it was joining my cross country team when I was in university at 30 years old, and joining this cross country team with a bunch of teenagers. Was being part of this team of 16 men and women, and like having them care about you and train together. And I was like, whoa, like this is amazing. Like when I went to college, I was able to clean up like a bit and go to school, and people got to kind of know me, and I made some good friendships, and it was some solid friendships, and it was fun having. It was cool having some people that actually genuinely cared about me, because I lost all my friends when I was a teenager, drinking, doing drugs. I had good friends growing up, and I lost them. I lost them all. And um no one wants to hang out with you when you're acting the way I was and doing the things I was doing. But it's so cool. Today I have all those friends back, and whatever you lose you can get back over
Yeah.
time. But communities, you need those people, like-minded people around you, with the same goals. We're all at different levels. We all have different goals. We're all at a different place up that mountain, but we're all trying to get better, and we're all trying to, get higher and higher up that mountain and cross that next finish line.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just so glad that you're out of that dark place now. But do you think that the darkness made you a little stronger in some ways too, like
Oh,
having been there?
I yeah, 100%. I'm grateful for it today. Like, I would take back every single person I hurt. Like, I hurt a lot of people, and I hurt the people that I cared about the most, including my mother. I lost my mother when I was, you know, in the worst of my addiction, and I can never get that back. And the people I cared about the most, my girlfriend in high school, and people I still think about this day. But I would take it, as much as I would take all that back, um, and regret that, of course, today. Like, I'm grateful for what I went through, because it made me who I am. It made me it I wouldn't be at this gym. This gym probably wouldn't even exist without it. I wouldn't have met my partners. I wouldn't have met all the friends I had today. For me, it's like, and I've been doing a little bit of a series. One of my favorite quotes: "What if life didn't happen to you, but happened for you?"
Yeah.
And I think about, like as much as I don't blame anyone, obviously, for not wanting to hang out with me. It was my own fault for losing all my friends, but it really stings when your friends don't want to hang out with you anymore, when they don't answer your phone calls, when you see about a big party that happened that you weren't invited to. Like it really hurts, like being left out like that and feeling so alone like that, and when you're already struggling with depression and addiction. And you know so but it allowed me to feel what it really feels like to be left out and alone. And for me, creating this community so people don't ever feel like that, so they have something to be a part of. For me, it allows me to connect and seek out the person, in a room that's standing by themselves. I'll never go to the circle of 10 people, but I'll go to the person standing by themselves and get to know them and learn their name, and stuff like that. It made me who I am. Like, to experience it, I'll always have a special heart compassion for people who are out there struggling, especially with addiction. It made me more resilient, it
Yeah,
made me, I think, being able to grit my teeth a little harder. I think it helps me even with my racing because,
I think so too.
yeah, whenever I'm out there and it's really freaking painful, I'm always like, you've already been to hell.
Yeah.
You've experienced this pain way worse than this. Like, what's this? This is nothing. Keep pushing forward. And but I think just being mostly the community, being able to relate to people, and so that's where it's helped me.
Yeah, absolutely. And going from where you were to being a worldwide, like renowned OCR athlete, like how sweet is that success?
Yeah, you know what? It's it's sweet, but it's also surreal. Like I never consider myself like a top OCR athlete or a pro athlete. Like I still, like, when I'm at the start line, I got like guys like Atkins and John Albert. Like, the OCRWC races are always fun for me because I'm sitting there and, like, these huge all stars are up my left, and I'm like, oh my god, like, I'm here at the start line. Like, this is crazy. I don't belong here, and for sure they'll still spank me, but it's still really cool being at those start lines. But yeah, I'm starting to, as one thing I've actually struggled with is, like, believing I belong there and looking at myself as, a top obstacle course race athlete. But that's actually one part of my mental game I've been trying to work on over the past year or two. But yeah, still cool. I never would have imagined in a million years people cheering my name at a race, or standing on the podium at an international event. Like, man, I was just happy to make the cross country team in university. I was the last guy that made it.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's been a pretty cool journey that way. And then
yeah,
again, like, I love being proof to those out there that, a skinny, weak kid like me, where you can see every single bone in his body, can stand on the top of a podium and
yeah.
you know, crush, complete whatever races, whether your goal is to stand on a podium or complete races, like, just to be proof that you can do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like there's a little bit of imposter syndrome, and I think we all kind of deal with that. We're like,
Yeah.
we deserve to be there, but sometimes like we don't feel like it because you best believe like someone's toeing the line with you, and they're thinking the same thing about you that they think
Oh,
about
yeah.
Atkins too.
Well, yeah, and it's affected my races too, because I'm like, oh, like, during the race, I'm like, oh man, I'm running right beside these guys. I'm like, maybe I'm going too hard. Like, I better
Yeah,
slow
yeah,
down or something. I shouldn't be here right now. So that game actually been something I've been really working on, knowing that you belong there and believing that you should be there and
yeah.
believing that you can, um, stand and hang with the best of them.
Absolutely. Something else that I really appreciate about you is that you're very involved with your community and fundraising for food banks and this and that. Um, I think that's huge. I think you also did something, Cuts Hurt Kids. I think you were at like a protest, right? A while ago. Uh, something to do with education. You're saying the cuts to education.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I was just supporting our the teachers.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel bad for our teachers, man. Our teachers are always getting sloughed off, and even during this pandemic, I'm like,
Especially,
why
yeah,
is there so much talk? If you're talking about getting the teachers back or the kids back in school, why aren't the teachers the getting vaccinated? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
same
with
thing
all
down
due
here.
respect to massage therapists were able to get vaccinated a while ago, and you're not vaccinating our teachers. And like, I'm like, are you insane? So I know some teachers, and I always feel for them because I've I've taught some youth stuff, and sometimes you get some tricky youth, and I don't know how the teachers do it
Yeah,
every day. And then also dealing with some parents can be a little, I'm lucky at this gym, all the parents are amazing and whatnot, but I've seen some parents with their kids out there, and
yeah. Oh
I
yeah,
can imagine being a teacher dealing with that. So yeah, I was just out there supporting our teachers.
yeah. I
And
love
again,
that. My
they're the ones taking care of the kids.
yeah,
Jeez,
really.
the teachers are huge, important parts of those kids' life. Like, they are their life after their parents, and it's
Yeah.
at school. So
Yeah, so my girlfriend Caitlin's a special education teacher, and I'm a therapist for autistic kids who works in home. So like, we
Oh
definitely
yeah,
appreciated that. We need we need more love sometimes because it's hard
yeah,
out there.
same.
So assuming that uh, the year goes as planned, what are some events that you plan to be going to this year?
Racing in. So my big ones, the ones that is looking realistic are shoot, it might even be OCRWC's my first race of the year
That's
in
crazy to think about.
September. Because it looks like that's in September. And then of Spartan race at Blue Mountain, I'm really excited for. It'd be so cool to race at Blue Mountain again, especially after the success of OCRWC in a few years ago.
Yep.
And I think I'm really leaning towards going down and doing World's Toughest Mudder. I have a
Yes.
so those are my big three. I have an Ironman in August and a half Ironman in July. So those are kind of like my big five. And if I qualify at the Ironman in August, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go do Kona. So those are like my big six. So those are the ones that's looking realistic.
Yeah, that's exciting. I know that OCRWC, this will technically be the first one that I go to because it's coming to the US, and I'm so excited about
Oh
that
my
because
goodness, it's there's no event more magical than OCRWC, and I've been so excited for it because it's exactly what the world needs. Like it's such
yes,
a good, like they create such a good, positive, like magical, inclusive vibe that I've never seen at any other event I've ever been at. Like, and it's so cool. It'll be so cool to have all the countries come together after from all over the world. Like I'm just gonna soak that whole weekend in and just like watch every heat, like, even if it affects my own race. Like I just can't wait to be out there and cheer people on, and it's gonna be so cool.
yeah, because I just imagine like North American championships just amplified because yeah, we get Canada and us and Mexico and like, we have some like interesting people there, but just I want to hear people speaking, Swedish. I want to hear this. I
Yeah,
want to like be surrounded by all these amazing people that I haven't had
oh
a
yeah,
chance to meet
so
yet.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be so cool.
And then World's Toughest Mudder, I know is definitely one of my favorites. I don't know if I'll be running it this year, but I'm definitely going. And I
Yeah,
remember uh, joining you on the course for like a little bit, going through like some of the obstacles, and you were very like just iron willed. It was like the middle of the night, people were dropping off left and right. I think it might have been 2018 when it was like super cold, but it was just miserable.
Atlanta.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it was miserable, and you were just like unshakable.
I was just like, don't stop. For one, if you stop, you're gonna freeze your ass off, and you might die of hypothermia. So you gotta keep moving and stay warm. For
Absolutely.
two, I was like, that race got me twice before. So I'm like, there's no way it's gonna be a third time in a row.
Yeah.
And that's a part of the reason why I'm going back. That I want it. I was so stoked when I heard it was back in Vegas because I'm like, oh
Yes.
man, because that was an event. That was one of the, there's the biggest events that I've been at are obviously every single OCRWC. The world's toughest mudders in Vegas were amazing. And then obviously Spartan's big event, Spartan North American in West Virginia was
Yeah.
amazing. Tahoe was unreal. But those are like the big four. And Vegas world's toughest mudder, like that was a show. Like the venue, like that was insane. Like the desert, the
Yeah.
water. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I was like, the second I heard that was back there, I'm like, I'm going.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if they bring back the cliff because that sounds terrifying to me, but should be
Yeah.
fun to watch. Um, but yeah, starting to wrap up, I just want to let you know that you inspire the hell out of me as someone who's gone to very dark places, not anything related to drug or prison, but like depression, suicide, like all that, very much in my back pocket, always will kind of be there. And then I look at you that just continues to keep doing your thing. And yeah, I really, really appreciate that. And so many other people I know, Matt Kempson listed you as like what OCR athlete do you look up to? Goes, oh, Jesse Bruce. And Adrian Biajanata brought you up, and he just you finish your elite wave, and you're like, how can I help? You just I don't know, you just you're too good to be true.
Thank you, man. That means a lot. Thank you. I'm glad. It makes me proud.
Yeah. So where can people follow you, help support One Academy and everything?
Uh, I guess I'm on Instagram. OAJ Bruce. My gym is One Academy Life on Instagram. Come check out a virtual class out there if you want to get still train and get strong, get fit with one army.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Awesome. And anyone else you want to give a shout out to?
Just everybody out there fighting, all my brothers and sisters out there suffering and struggling, keep fighting, stay up, keep smiling. The race venues that are struggling and doing their best to keep us going and motivated. OCRWC, Adrian, Rachel Land, Spartan race, like everybody who's out there fighting to keep this community together and keeping us, motivated and inspired. So, and thank you for this interview.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Thanks, man.